We've seen that one of the activities undertaken at the strategy plane is determining what's on the table and what's off the table, what trade-offs are necessary in terms of business objectives and user needs. We refine that further at the scope level by determining what features of those business objectives and user needs are on and off the table. When determining what's on the table, a defined scope uncovers and resolves conflicts early. Try and get a good picture of the features and the content that's available at this point. Document what's in and what's out for now. It prevents misunderstandings later. An agile approach minimizes documentation. An agile approach means committing to small, bite-sized increments of development. That way, if you find yourself going off track, you can recover within a short space of time because you're committing to solving a smaller part of the larger problem rather than committing to the entire problem at one time. It also is committed to minimal documentation. And in doing so, it encourages you to keep things simple. So keep the features simple, keep the schedule controllable, and set out your key milestones. All features should align with the strategy. So the trade-offs determined in that two-dimensional graph should always be kept in mind when determining the features. They must align themselves to the user needs and the business goals. Now, new ideas for features can be postponed for future releases. So identify what needs to be done now and what can wait. A component of the agile methodology is called a sprint. And a sprint is a duration in time in which you commit to building something. A sprint can be a number of hours long. It can be a day or two. It can be a week. It can be a couple of weeks. In general, they're short. A sprint rarely goes over a month. In most cases, sprints involve a couple of days development and collaboration. You might determine that for the first sprint, you identify the CV elements. So just the elements that would go on a CV. And once you have those elements in place, you will use those to feed in to the solution for sprint 2, which might be identifying online CV elements. If your scope is too big, you may be faced with the possibility of unrealistic deadlines, which will result in slippage, not meeting your milestones, your release dates, your commitment dates. You can also suffer from scope creep. And scope creep is the addition of features that weren't agreed on at the starting point. Scope creep is notorious in software development. Be aware of it, recognize it, and always try and minimize it. On the other hand, if your scope is too small, you may build a product that's pretty unimpressive. It may be just a single page website with a list of your achievements and a paragraph of text, say. Here's a quote to bear in mind. Trade-offs are essential to strategy. They create the need for choice and they purposefully limit what a company offers. Let's take IKEA as an example. Now, while they have limited customer services, you can wander for 30 minutes through some of IKEA's departments and not meet a member of staff. They do have intuitive shopping and lower prices to compensate. There's a very defined mapping as to how you move through the areas. Another trade-off is it's got flat back and knockdown furniture. But the positive side of that is it's got in-house modern style and design. IKEA is consistently located in suburban locations. Well, the money they save by having such vast warehouse-style department stores is that they can stock an expansive on-site inventory. The store is the warehouse. Another positive take on a trade-off is the long WOW. So pack in some minimal viable product features up front and unfold new experiences over time you can evolve and integrate. Consistently surprise and delight your users with small, incremental releases that have perceived value.